Hey guys, and welcome to the very first episode on my YouTube channel. Now we will be doing a quick car review on my old 2000 Subaru Liberty Heritage 2.5 liter EJ 25.1 naturally aspirated engine. It has a fair bit of issues, so we will be tackling those in future episodes, and it will be slowly become a build process. But right now we're just gonna dive into how it drives before I start fixing everything, and I'll go over the list as we drive through it. It is a little beat up, as you can tell. 2 years ago I bought it for $900. I'll give you a quick overview. So this is the rear end, obviously, and you can tell bumper's a little beat up. The trunk and the tail lights. Trunk's not aligned properly. Lights cracked. Lights cracked on this end as well. I got rear-ended by someone when I first bought the car. He drove off. It was a hit and run. But the car has seen better days. It is 20 years old in Australia, so the paint is coming off. It is it's got all the bells and whistles for a 20-year-old car that you could think of from back in the day. It's got no grill. That's kind of my fault. I hit a pretty big bird and ended up screwing it all up. But it's got a lot of issues that, like I said, we'll be talking about during my little drive/review on how it handles and how it drives. I personally love it. It needs a little bit of TLC, as you can tell. But that's going to be alright because the car is worth it. Now let's go into a little bit into the interior. I'm not going to show you the full thing because it is dirty. So it is right-hand drive, obviously, because I live in Australia at the moment. And I plan on shipping this car to Canada because there's going to be a full build once I start. So right now, it is sitting at 300,000 kilometers. First thing you guys are going to mention is, yes, it is an automatic, but it was a $900 car. How can you say no? It's got aircon, heat. It's got auto control for aircon, CD player, and cassette player, which I bet some of you guys don't even know what the hell that even is. Doesn't work, unfortunately. But it's got a lot of little cool things. Like, it's got a little coin holder, cup holder, and if you're wondering, wait a minute, what about your passenger here? How are you gonna get? There's no cup holder on the door or anything like that. Well, bam! Look at that, beautiful. Now, I personally have owned this car for 2 years. It is sitting at 306,000 kilometers at the moment. Yeah, 306,814 kilometers. One of my favorite things is I kind of like it because it's more driver focused, like not the console or anything like that, or the middle dash, but you know, you got what every car driver needs to know is you got the time. Obviously you got the kilometers and all that, that's all normal. But I like the fact that it has a clock. It's got a cup holder close to the driver. And all the controls, like all the buttons all the power buttons are on the driver's side. Like you got the aircon on the driver's side, and you got the control for the radio as well. Alright, so let's dive into a quick little drive and see how it feels. Cars, I'm not the most mechanically inclined person, but basically I want to show that if you can set your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And right now, the 2000 Subaru Liberty, I think EJ 2.5 liter engine is the perfect engine to start with, to start building. And right now, it's got a bit of a to-do list to be worked on. And most of the to-do list, it's small, but it's expensive. But I can do it myself, most of it. Most of the stuff I can check off myself. This will be nice. The only thing I cannot do, mainly because it comes down to money, not really money, but tools and experience. I'd rather have a mechanic do the head gaskets, because I reckon they do need to be replaced. They are getting pretty bad. I think they're starting to go. I want to get done before it ends up fucking the engine. So the head gaskets, I want to get a mechanic to do, because that way if something does go wrong when they're replaced, it can fall back on the mechanic, and it can be done under the fact that you screwed up. If that happens, normally it doesn't happen, because normally, obviously mechanics are professionals, they know what they're doing. Normally if they do a head gasket and they notice it needs something else, they'll tell you it needs something else. So, get the mechanic to do that. But the other part that has to be done that I will be doing myself, and you will see, will be the next few episodes or videos on this channel, will be the front end suspension, really, or front end steering, I guess you would call it. Needs to be done. Like, it needs new control arms, it needs power steering rack, and it needs one CV joint on the driver's side. But I am probably going to end up doing both CD joints just because the fact if you're going to do one, you might as well replace the other, just so you know when they do go, the next time they do go, they will go roughly at the same time depending on what's going on with the diff. Because it is obviously all-wheel drive, baby. So that's the to-do list I have right now for the car. And once I start doing the head gaskets, actually, I've been looking into it and I've been reading, I've been doing a lot of research on the head gaskets. It's normally these head gaskets, they are single-layered, what are they? Single-layered steel with granite coating. And apparently they are not the most reliable head gasket for these engines. So I looked up, and if I am correct, it's the EJ25-7 that I had, which is from an STI, and their OEM head gaskets are the same layout as this engine as well, which is the EJ25-1. So, and those head gaskets are triple layer steel. That I believe it's the same coating. It might be a different coating. I'm pretty sure they're graphite coating as well. Let's find they're triple layer steel, so they're a little bit thicker, so they handle a little bit more power, which is exactly what I want. Because I want to start building this car, like I said, but that will be after the shipping process. Which, yes, I am shipping this car to Canada. Why am I shipping this car to Canada when it's a really cheap car? Well, one, it's a cheap car. I don't want to spend a lot of money to ship it on a car and then ship it and then have it break when I build it. Where this car was cheap, ship it over there, build it, it fucks up, I buy another engine really. That's all I really gotta, not all I gotta do, but if the engine blows, I'll end up getting another engine for this car. But, so I'll be also documenting that shipping process as well, which isn't gonna happen until October. So it's a fair bit away, it's not 9 months away, but that's when I'm leaving Australia, because that's when my visa expires. So I will be leaving in October, the car will be leaving in October. Yeah, because I'm doing it by boat, it's going to take a little while for it to arrive, which is going to suck, but that's life, you know, it's a cheaper option. Because to do it by plane, you're looking at about 20 grand. I don't have 20 grand, I don't know if you guys got 20 grand, I don't have 20 grand. So once the car is shipped back home, that's when we're going to really start focusing on building the engine, replacing the whole, getting the whole internals redone, like replaced with more stronger parts. That's what works. So it will be a slow process, but it's going to be a good process at the same time, because during my time here, I'll be fixing it, getting it ready to be shipped, and then I'll be able to document the whole shipping process, like the paperwork, what I got to do to prove, what I have to do to get it approved to go in Canada, which shouldn't be too much because it's a 20-year-old car. For the Canadian law is any car 15 years or older is exempt from most, if not all, tests. So a right-hand drive car is legal in Canada after the age of 15. So like an R34 has been legal in Canada for the past couple of years. Like, you know, the Nissan Skyline R34 GTR. Beautiful car. I would love to own, why not a Skyline? Well, they're a little bit expensive. This car's cheap. Parts are cheap. GTR ain't so cheap. And the parts are a lot harder to come by than a Subaru. Legacy, Liberty, whatever you want to call it. But that's alright, because it'll be a perfect platform to start with. And once we finish this car, hopefully by then I will have enough money to start with another car. We'll start meddling around. One of my friends back home, he has a car, he wants to start looking into modding as well, so we'll probably end up doing that once I get home, as well as doing videos of his car as well. So it'll be an interesting process to see what happens over the next 9 months of what I end up doing with this car and the shipping process, which so far, as I know, speaking of the shipping process, so far what I can tell you is now, you reckon it'll probably cost a lot. It will cost about ballpark $3,800, $4,500 to ship it from Brisbane Port to Vancouver. I could get it shipped to where I live, which is Toronto, but it's an extra like $2 to $3 grand. I just won't spend that kind of money. Like, obviously, well, if I'm shipping to Vancouver, I'm gonna drive it all the way to Toronto. Well, that's alright. I'd rather take that $3 grand of savings from shipping it to drive cross country with a right-hand drive car. You know, because it's gonna take a little bit to get used to. Because not only is it right-hand drive, I'll be driving on the right side of the road instead of driving on the left side of the road with a right-hand drive car. So that will be interesting. Now, I will be back in Canada for a month before the car arrives, so we'll have to wait a little bit for that as well. But hopefully by then I'll have everything done. I'll have all the documentation ready for me to pick up, which will makes it a whole lot easier. That's why another reason why I want to ship this car home is because I already own it. So it'll be a lot easier to prove that I own it because I already have all the information for the car already because I own it. So back home in Canada, it'll be a lot easier to prove that it's a legitimate car and not some drug cartel fucking thing. So that makes life a little bit easier because I am a Canadian citizen. With that being said, I think I've just about covered everything for an intro video. I apologize that it was very long. It's just me driving and talking a lot. I tend to do that, so get used to that. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you didn't enjoy my long talking, yapping, dislike. But other than that, enjoy your day. If you want to see what this car goes through and how it ends up getting built, hit subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.